Eleanor Thompson stared at her reflection in the cracked bathroom mirror, the fluorescent light buzzing like a swarm of angry bees overhead. At 65, after 40 years of marriage to a man who treated her like a reliable old Buick, steady but forgettable, she was a widow now. 3 months since Harold's heart gave out on the golf course, and the house felt like a tomb. But today, she was done being the invisible granny in the floral apron. "Screw it," she whispered, her voice echoing off the tiled walls that smelled faintly of bleach and regret. She grabbed the box of pink hair dye from the sink, the one she bought on a whim at the drugstore. Its chemical tang sharpened her nostrils. Her hands trembled as she squeezed the gooey mess onto her graying roots, the cool slime dripping down her forehead like tears she refused to shed. What if the neighbors saw? What if her kids laughed? But deeper, in that hollow ache where Harold used to be, a fire flickered. "I'm not done yet," she thought, heart pounding. This pink streak, it was her middle finger to the world that said women like her should fade quietly. The dye set while she paced the linoleum kitchen floor, the fridge humming its lonely tune, memories crashing like waves. Harold was kind in his way. Bills paid, dinners on the table, but passion? That died with her honeymoon. She'd raised 2 kids, volunteered at church bake sales, her hands chapped from endless pie crusts that tasted like sawdust in her mouth now. Was that all? Her mind screamed, the question burning hotter than the dye on her scalp. She rinsed it out in the sink, water splashing cold against her skin. And there it was, a bold slash of fuchsia against silver waves. She laughed, a sharp, barking sound that startled the cat from its perch on the windowsill where sunlight filtered through lace curtains, casting patterns like forgotten dreams. Emboldened, Ellie, as her old college friends once called her, slipped into her Sunday dress, the one with the modest neckline that now felt like a straitjacket. The community center was just a 10-minute walk, past maple trees shedding crimson leaves that crunched under her sensible flats, the earthy scent mixing with distant barbecue smoke. Inside the dance hall, polished wood floors gleamed under hanging lanterns, the air thick with polished oak and nervous sweat. 24 women her age milled about, some in leggings that hugged hips wider than hers, others clutching purses like life rafts. The instructor, a wiry woman named Rita with a ponytail that defied gravity, clapped her hands. "Ladies, swing dancing tonight. Grab a partner or make one up. No judgments here." Ellie hovered by the folding chairs, the metal cold against her palms, heart thumping like a bass drum. A man? Wait, men? Oh God, a co-ed class? Her cheeks flushed hotter than the dye. Across the room, a silver fox in a button-down winked, his clone wafting over like a teasing breeze. Sandalwood and mischief. "New here," he drawled, extending a hand rough from what? Carpentry? Life? She took it, skin tingling at the warmth, and they stumbled into the first steps. His laugh rumbled no when she stepped on his toe, the music a jaunty big band tune swirling around them like confetti. For the first time in decades, her body moved not to a schedule, but to rhythm. Joy bubbled up, fizzy as champagne, but then doubt crept in. What am I doing? I'm 65, for heaven's sake. He'll see the wrinkles, the hesitation. Yet his eyes, crinkled with genuine delight, held hers. As the song swelled, he spun her out, her skirt flaring like a petal, the whoosh of air cool on her legs. Many triumph. I didn't fall. But as the class wrapped up, sweat beading on her brow, salty on her lips, he leaned in close, breath warm against her ear. "Coffee after? I want to hear about that pink streak. It's got a story." Her pulse raced. Say yes, and what? Scandal? Rebirth? She opened her mouth, the words forming, but then Rita called her over for feedback, and he slipped away into the crowd. Ellie stood there, chest heaving, the echo of his touch lingering, like a promise. What if this was the spark that ignited everything, or burned it all down? Enjoy the story. Ellie couldn't shake the encounter. Back home that night, the house wrapped around her like a too-tight sweater, she poured a glass of Merlot, its ruby glow catching the lamplight on the scarred oak table where she'd once balanced checkbooks and bedtime stories. The wine's tart bite slid down her throat. warming the chill of uncertainty. Coffee with a stranger at my age? Her inner voice, that nagging committee of doubts, piped up. You're playing dress up, Ellie. Real widows knit or garden, not flirt. But another voice, quieter at first, then bold. When did you last feel alive? She swirled the glass, inhaling the faint berry notes, and remembered the dance, his hand firm on her waist, guiding her through dips that made her laugh until her sides ached. The risk thrilled her, electric as the first sip. Days blurred into a routine laced with rebellion. Mornings, she'd clip coupons at the Formica counter, coffee steaming black and bitter. But afternoons, dance class became her secret ritual. The hall's double doors creaked open to blasts of Glenn Miller, horns blaring triumphant, feet stomping in syncopated joy. Rita pushed them harder, cha-chas that twisted hips awake, waltzes that whispered of old Hollywood glamour. Ellie's pink streak caught eyes, whispers rippled like silk skirts. Love the color, dear, a plump woman named Gladys cooed, her floral perfume cloying sweet. But the men, oh, they noticed. There was Tom, the widower with laugh lines deep as canyons, who partnered her twice, his calloused fingers brushing hers with intent. You're a natural, he'd say, voice gravelly from years of factory smoke and eyes lingering on her flushed neck. One Tuesday, under the hall's vaulted ceiling where dust motes danced in golden shafts, Tom pulled her aside after a particularly steamy Roomba. The music faded to murmurs, partners dispersing like leaves in wind, the air cooling with fans' lazy whir. He smelled of aftershave and pipe tobacco, earthy and comforting. Ellie, mind if I call you that? Saw your ring finger is empty now. Mine too. Dinner? Friday? Nothing fancy, just pasta at my place. Her stomach flipped, a mix of butterflies and nausea. Pasta at his place? The implications hung heavy, like the humid air before a storm. She thought of Harold's predictable meatloafs, the way passion had evaporated into routine. What would the girls say? She mused aloud, half to him, half to the ghosts in her head. Tom chuckled, thumb tracing her knuckle. The girls? Let them gossip. Life's too short for what-ifs. His words landed soft, yet they cracked open something. A door to possibility she'd bolted shut at 25. She said yes. Friday arrived with nervous flutters, rain pattering against her windshield like impatient fingers as she drove to his modest bungalow, wipers squeaking rhythmically. Inside, garlic sizzled in a cast-iron skillet, steam curling up rich and savory, mingling with candle flames flickering shadows on knotty pine walls. They ate cross-legged on his rug, spaghetti twirling on forks with sloppy delight, sauce staining her lips crimson. Conversation flowed easy, stories of lost spouses, dreams deferred. I always wanted to sail, he confessed, eyes distant, reflecting the fire's orange glow. She shared her buried sketchbook passion, fingers itching for charcoal. Laughter built bridges, but then his hand found hers again, deliberate. The room shrunk, air thickening with unspoken want. He leaned in, lips brushing her cheek, soft, tentative. Her breath hitched. This is madness. Or is it magic? She pulled back, heart hammering staccato. Tom, I haven't... Words tangled like the pasta on her plate. He nodded, no pressure, but the spark hung there, smoldering. As she drove home through sheets of rain, tires hissing on wet asphalt, thunder rumbling low in her chest, doubt warred with desire. What if she dove in and drowned? Or soared? The following week's dance class crackled with extra energy, the hall buzzing like a hive, accurations wheezing lively polkas that set toes tapping involuntarily. Ellie arrived early, her reflection in the entryway mirror showing a woman transformed. The pink now full cascade, framing cheeks rouged with anticipation. The dye's floral shampoo lingered in her hair, a defiant bloom against the polished wood's varnish scent. Gladys waved her over, fanning herself with a program, sweat glistening on her brow. Girl, you're glowing. Spill, who's the beau? Ellie waved it off, but inside, turmoil churned. Tom's kiss, chaste yet charged, had unlocked a floodgate. Night's scents,
nights she'd tossed in sheets that whispered against her skin, mind replaying the almost. Am I ready? Do I even remember how? At 65, desire felt foreign, like a language half forgotten, thrilling and terrifying. As partners paired off, Tom claimed her first, his grip sure now, body sinking in a foxtrot that swayed them close, breaths mingling hot and ragged. "Missed you," he murmured, leading her through turns that blurred the room's edges, lanterns swinging like stars, laughter echoing off rafters. But midway through, the doors banged open, admitting a gust of autumn chill and a ghost. Margaret, her sister-in-law from Harold's side, all sharp bob and sharper tongue. Margaret's eyes ice blue, unyielding, locked on Ellie's hair. Then Tom. "Eleanor, what in God's name?" The music jarred, steps faltering as Margaret strode up, heels clicking accusatory on the floor. Gladys hovered, whispering, "Family drama?" The mini-crisis erupted, Margaret's face twisted in disapproval, voice slicing through the melody. "Harold would roll in his grave, parading like some midlife crisis reject at your age?" The hall hushed, stares prickling Ellie's skin like nettles. Tom's hand tightened on hers, supportive, but her world tilted. Shame burned hot as stove coils, visions of church ladies' clucks, kids' pitying texts. "I'm reinventing," she stammered, voice small at first, then stealing. Margaret scoffed. "Reinventing? You're embarrassing us all." The words landed like slaps, echoing in Ellie's skull. But then something snapped. She straightened, pink strands catching light like a crown. "Embarrassing? Harold is gone, Margaret, and I spent 40 years invisible, cooking, cleaning, smiling through it all. This," she gestured the hair, her flushed face, Tom's steady presence. "This is me alive. Judge if you must, but don't you dare dim my light." The hall held its breath. Rita paused the music, a supportive nod flickering. Margaret blinked, stunned, then softened. "Just a fraction. I lost Jim too. Feared I'd fade." A bridge. Tentative. Ellie hugged her, the embrace awkward, fabrics rustling, sense of lavender and regret blending. The class erupted in applause, partners whooping, the air electric with solidarity. Tom pulled her back into the dance, spins wilder now, her laughter free and full-throated, the floor vibrating under joyful stamps. Weeks later, under a harvest moon that silvered the community park's gazebo, Ellie and Tom sat on a bench, leaves skittering around their feet in crisp whispers, cider's cinnamon steam curling between them. No grand gestures, just quiet talks turning to kisses, deep and unhurried. His fingers traced her jaw with reverence. She reflected, heart full. "Ladies, if you're listening, and I know you are, maybe sipping tea in your kitchens or walking that familiar path, don't wait for permission. Dye the hair, tick the class, say yes to the spark. Age isn't a cage, it's a canvas. Mine's pink now and gloriously messy." Their lips met again, soft as forgiveness, promising tomorrows painted bold. And as the stars winked overhead, Ellie knew reinvention wasn't wild. It was her truest self, blooming late, but fierce. What do you think? Have you ever shocked your family with a bold change? Share below. Let's inspire each other.